I have a feeling that he actually can see you and that he's not fully blind, as the Baron has said. Although his eyes are kind of a milky white, and he certainly looks on the blind side. Hello! You must be from the Baron. Is that true?
Yes, it is, good sir.
Is he well?
Yes, he seems to be doing well, though I can't say I've known him long. Yeah, sent us here to investigate the coast. I've heard there's some bad things happening here, no? And also, don't mean to be rude, but with all due respect, we have also come to ask if we can acquire 2 more casks of the holy water, if you would allow us.
He strokes his beard. Well, I have found myself in need of your aid in the past, but you weren't here, and so I figured it out myself. My son is alive thanks to you, or thanks to the Baron. I don't know you. Or maybe I do. What's your name?
My name is Smith, and I don't believe we've met. And he kind of steps aside. Maybe you've met some of these other fine fellows?
Nonsense! I know you, Smith. Please, come inside. He opens the door.
Smith kind of looks to the others and shrugs. I guess let's go in.
Alaric walks in.
I walk up and stand in the doorway.
I probably stand in the doorway as well. Mildly afraid I'll be immediately set aflame or something if I enter such a holy place.
Right.
Indeed, and I think when he looks at it, he kind of pays no attention to everyone other than Smith, although when he sees eventually, or I guess it's only Nettie who he kind of doesn't seem to pay much attention to, because first he sees Alaric enter and he says, you are a follower of my faith as well. It is good to have you in this place. It has long been in need of people to sing hymns and place offerings on the altar. I do my best, but it is nice to have others sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
And then he sees...
Alaric says, you worship the gods of light?
Of course. And he kind of pulls out a book, and it's got like the 6-pointed star of Peller on it. It's like a gold-colored symbol. And Peller's the god of agriculture and the sun and light. And it's one of the main deities worshipped in the hamlet. I think you might have seen a couple peasants saying Peller's prayers as you were walking down the road at one point in the hamlet.
Nice.
And also inside, the church looks rather decrepit. It's kind of dirty, and look, the floors get some care, but the upper parts of the walls look kind of like rusty, like there was metal, and it's now gotten moist despite being in a desert, and now it's in disrepair. When he sees Valor standing in the door, he chuckles and says, I think you have had some ill fortune. Do not worry, the gods do not frown upon the unfortunate.
Say so. Sure, it doesn't feel like it sometimes, though. Right. Thanks.
Don't worry, you won't burst into flames unless I will it.
We should come back here, companions, and repair this holy place.
Yes, that would be quite nice. It does certainly seem like it needs it.
Sounds great. I wish you two the best.
Listen. So he goes and sits on one of the pews in the church, and motions for Smith to come over and sit by him.
He does. Giving him a slightly confused look.
My good friend Smith. I want to just give you the holy water. You've earned it, and your Baron has helped me before. However, and it's good to do a good turn for no reason, but I do need help, and there is one thing you could do for me, even though the other matters have been dealt with. My son, he was ensorcelled by a mermaid perhaps, or had something happened with him, and he went to the cove and would not return, and that was the last time you helped me. He's recovered fully from that, and he didn't undergo any sort of unnatural transformation. But his eye hasn't changed, it looks the same, and I think he wants to go back. He wants to go back to the sea. That dream never left him, and I can't let him go. So, in the last season or so, I've had to keep him here, I'm afraid, so that he doesn't go back to them. But he needs to see the sun. I can tell he's grown very pale, and I think it's not good for him to stay in that room of his. You were all capable and armed and strong and quick. I'm sure if he tried to run away, you'd be able to catch him quite easily. Could you take my son fishing in the creek by this church? It was a favorite of his before what happened.
Smith kind of looks around and kind of thinks for a second and says, I guess so. We are here for a few days. We plan to be.
We would be happy to help you, fellows.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Goodman Smith, and you, good priest. Follow me. He leads you to the back of the church where there's a pair of doors. One of them he opens and goes down a hall. At the end of the hall is another door. He knocks, and when there's no response, he opens it. You see
Then he walks down the hall afterwards to the doorway
Righteous.
where they went in. So I'm just still standing in the doorway because he seems to not know I'm here. So I'm just going to pretend like I'm not here, but keep an eye on him.
The room is fairly dark, and the windows have the curtains drawn across them. And there's like a bookshelf with many you can tell that they're like stories. There's a writing desk and some other furnishings, perhaps some games and other things. Some little figurines of mermaids and other sea-related things, perhaps sailors and pirate figurines. Laying on a bed is a boy, or rather a man. He's rather pale and scrawny, and his brown hair is kind of like, it's not matted, it looks like it's been washed recently. And his face is rather soft, but one of his eyes, it's not pale and white like his father's, but instead it's kind of more, the pupil is gone, and it looks kind of very unnatural and amber colored. He sits up from the bed immediately and looks at you, but doesn't say anything. Gwaithon, I've brought friends. They will take you fishing. Please, stand up, come see us. The youth crosses the room, and then stands obediently at attention. He scratches his head. We're gonna go out to the sea.
Smith kind of looks at him for a second and says, "Hello, lad. I'm afraid not. I believe we're going to a creek or something." He looks to Delos, right?
Delos nods, and then Quaitha nods slowly and then says, he looks back and forth and says, "I see. Yes, let's go to this creek. Perhaps we will catch a fish."
And with that, Alaric will use his patented missionary insight to determine if this person is hiding things, hiding his intentions.
Give me an insight. Yes. So you think, just based on his body language, even with just a 10, you think he might have some ulterior motives, perhaps. You're not sure he doesn't seem very excited to go fishing, despite his father saying that it's one of his favorite things to do. Yeah, that's what you find.
Fellows, I say, perhaps it would be a good thing just to go to the sea. A supervised visit every now and again.
Well, you're too kind. I think he'd honestly love that. It's the only thing he ends up talking about usually when I visit with him. Do you want to go to the sea? Yes, of course, he says, and he gives kind of a distant looking, his eyes are kind of distant and he smiles. Please, let me come with you. You're going to the sea? I would love to.
I, for one, Alaric says, would love to escort you to the sea, but please, it is very, very dangerous. Stick by us. We are voluntarily helping you go to the sea. Just pray that you listen to us and you stick by us. It's very dangerous. Can you do that?
He nods, still having a distant look in his one eye, and you looking at his other eye, it gives you kind of a strange sense that that it's looking somewhere else other than, even though you can't see the pupil, his pupilless eye, it seems to be gazing somewhere far away somehow. Ellis claps his hands together. Excellent, excellent. I'm so glad that you came back, Smith. And you too, goodly priest. Is there any, do you need food? I have some food here if you're hungry. It's dried fish I caught in the creek. It's not much, but I like it.
I'll take it.
I'm fine.
He goes down, he leads you back into the church, goes in down another hallway and comes back with some dried fish, and he bundled in a little cloth bag, and he hands it to Ulrich.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, and come back with my son.
We will.
Smith, was there anything else you wanted to talk about while you're here?
I don't believe so. Do you know anything of the salt tower up north along the coast?
He kind of frowns and says, and scratches his head. I think I know something about it. I can't remember. I don't think you should go there. I think it's bad, says slowly.
That's so, then. Thanks for the caution. We'll return later. If you do remember anything else about it, then when I return, pray tell, do let us know.
Yeah. Yes. If I remember, I'll tell you. Of course, Smith. Of course.
Well, thanks. We shall be on our way then. Take care, good sir.
Goodbye.
Smith turns and walks towards the door.
Yep. Same with Alaric.
So
After
you guys,
we exit,
I was
I
just
think
on a
I'd-
phone call. My mom called, and I had to see what she was calling about.
There you
So,
go.
are we taking him to the sea, or are we taking him to the creek, or are we taking him anywhere?
To the sea, I believe,
Okay, to
Yes.
sea. Thank you. Sorry.
under close supervision. Smith kind of looks down at Nettie and says, I think because you're so short, he didn't even see you.
I think so.
offense.
Too. Okay with me.
It's strange, and don't you find it even stranger that this place hasn't been even... It seems to be holding up well despite, being in the middle of this hellish land.
Yes, well, maybe the bandits don't come out this far, and these creatures of the sea, we are a few miles inland. Maybe it's just
At
good
this point,
positioning.
Quathan is standing beside you, Smith, having followed you outside, and he's looking in the direction of the sea and says, "They're not creatures, they're people. They're just like me."
That's so.
Oh, okay.
Are they friendly?
Well, I'm not sure if that's a word one would use. One isn't friends, as you know. But they cooperate. Just like you. But they're different.
That's so.
How do they cooperate with you? Alaric says.
They can speak each other's language and hunt together. And talk about their favorite things together.
Okay. How do they
Just as you
cooperate?
do in listens.
How do they cooperate with you? Are they friends with you, or are they just like?
There is no they. I am the same.
Oh,
Right,
who's your mother? Where's your mother?
My mother. My mother is the sea, of course. She gives life and other gifts to those who deserve them.
Do you know your mother's
Who's
name?
your father? Interjects Nettie.
My mother's name is simply the sea. There are other
Who's-
names,
But
but
who's
I
your
shouldn't
father?
tell them to you. My father's name, his eyes become distant. I can't remember his name. It's very long and has many syllables.
Wait, no, it's Thelos, isn't it?
Oh, yes, of course. Thelos. That's my father.
It's rather short, but no matter. I guess we should go, shouldn't we? We're here to investigate, after all.
Yep. I whisper to Smith, so if he runs and tries to jump in the sea, we need to grab him. But I do want to make him
certainly.
smile. I want to, if he wants to see the sea, he should see the sea. He's growing up.
I agree. He seems like a good lad. A
Yeah.
little strange.
All right, ready to go.
All right. You travel down the road, which leads to the sea, and actually, where it stops, you end up being able to see the pier. So you pass some coastal forests. It seems that there's kind of bluffs with scattered trees and brush, and you even see a little creek. The spot that says Hill Camp is presumably through like several miles of forest. It's more of a coastal forest though than the places you've been before in the ruined countryside. Eventually you come to the side of the sea, but as you approach, something is not right with the sky. Before you get out of the wasteland fully, you can see like a wall in the distance in the sky. A bluish, purplish, dark haze hanging there, as though there's some sort of like cloud cover that extends only over the bay and not much beyond it. Reaching the bluffs, you're now shrouded in a gloom, like an overcast day, but with a slightly blue hue. Colors don't look quite right, and everything has kind of a cooler feel to it. The temperature also drops considerably. It's not cold, it's still warm, but it's not dry and unpleasant like it was before. And a salt breeze reaches your nostrils as the road loops over the bluffs.
Smith, could you take
You're now
Quathon's hand, please?
Yes, certainly. Someone else needs to drive the wagon, though, and
Yeah, I'll drive it.
Smith then
Yeah,
kind
he
of
has
hops
her
down from the
net out.
wagon, walking beside Quathon, and says, let me see your hand.
Quathon, he looks at your hand and doesn't take it.
And Smith kind of reaches out and, like, not trying to be violent or rough, just kind of grabs his hand and says, we gotta make sure you're safe. Father's worried about you.
Yes, of course. Although I do not like holding your hand. It's very dry, he says.
Sorry about that, but can't really help it.
Nettie has her net out on her saddle, so it's within reach. She can throw it should she need to.
Smith has his shield on his other arm.
I think at this point Valor would also be just very much ready to just like set a slow match on fire and be ready to shoot. Like he's very wary now of the location.
I want to use a
Righteous.
history check to remember if this is a natural, like if there's like historical weather patterns like this, like this happened in past? Because I don't feel like this gloom. It feels like it's magical, but I don't.
No, it doesn't seem normal, does it?
Yeah.
You can give me anyone who's proficient in nature can roll nature, and if there's no one proficient, you can also roll me a history check. Although the history check would be a bit higher DC than nature. Is anyone proficient in nature in the group out of the 4 or none?
I'm not.
We're not druids. What can we say?
Right. Well, Ulrich, I think you can't recall any stories of this. Have you ever been to like the sea before or spent your time around sailors, Ulrich?
Just in passing, but never, tried to get around here and there, but never for prolonged periods.
Okay, well maybe on your travels you did hear a story from a sailor about like dark skies over a cursed island, or that there is some sort of curse in this story he was telling where an island had an eternal cloud cover over it, so it was always dark, and the sailor said that it's because the people from the sea don't like the sun.
Okay.
But you've certainly never heard of a natural weather pattern where the clouds would be. I mean, it is possible. It's conceivable that sometimes if there was no breeze, that clouds might just be hanging there over a certain place. That could be natural. But you do feel a bit of a breeze hitting your skin, and the clouds don't seem to be moving very much.
Okay. Sounds
I've got
good.
my crossbow out and an arrow nock just in case. My net's sitting across the saddle to the front.
Alright, Smith
So
kinda
you're
looks around
standing-
for planning to walk north to the tower, or is there another plan?
I think the tower is good.
The road continues south, and you can see in the distance, it's stretching out into the ocean, a huge wooden plank. It's like about maybe 20 or 30 feet across, and looks like it goes like many hundreds of feet out into the ocean, and it's raised on pillars about maybe 10 feet or 20 feet over the sea. It's absolutely massive, strangely staggeringly so. It's also several miles away, and you see a ship moored near the end of it.
Oh,
He's that way, although you can also see the beach 100 feet down a hill, and then a couple more 100 feet from that is the ocean.
Smith looks down at Claython and kind of says, "So, what is it about the sea that you like so much?"
Where I belong. I like to look at it. It makes me calm. He's just staring in the direction of the sea currently, just kind of standing there with his arms by his side, one holding your hand. And my friends live there, although it's not time yet. I can't be with them.
Hey, I don't quite understand, but at least for now, your place is here in the land with your father, Perilous.
Daddy says, when will it be time?
When I'm ready. Yeah, scratches his head, running his hand through his clean hair, which has clearly been washed with soap just a few days ago. I'm not ready yet.
Alaric speaks up. Do any of you guys know about the ship?
Nettie, as an experienced hired hand who's heard lots of stories in the tavern, I think yes, you would have heard. In fact, did Nettie go on the expedition that rescued Lycan from the cage?
I think that was Nettie.
Yeah, so Nettie,
Like
either you
Nabba,
or I think, yeah, no, that was Nettie. I'm almost certain. I remember because you were going to use your shield fighting style at one point during it. So
right.
At the end, yes, that ship had been moored. I think Thelos actually sent a letter telling the Baron about it, and when investigated using a rowboat, it had found that there were a bunch of men in cages on the ship and a strange fish creature. Some of the men had signs that they looked like they were kind of turning into fish creatures, just like some weird like scales or some slippery fin-like things growing off of them. And and there was a woman in one of the cages with a sword and some tattered robes. And after letting the men out of the cages, they said not to let the woman out, but after being let out, she was fairly hostile. And the men told a story about how the fish people had put them in these cages. They'd been like a merchant vessel, and they'd just been left in the cages. And there were some empty cages, and the men said that they wouldn't say what was in the empty cages before. Now, the woman told a different story, that the men were actually like a pirate crew, and originally she'd been traveling with them, and then at one point they were picking up some slaves from an island, and wasn't about that, and so they ended up putting her in a cage. And after hearing this story, the other men denied it, but the hired hands believed the woman, and also felt like the men turning into fish people might have been a bad thing. And then as soon as the hostile intent was detected, the men tried to escape, sensing that they would soon be killed, and then they were, I think, shot with crossbow bolts while swimming in the water.
Indeed.
So this is the exact same pier, right? This is the exact same place.
Yes, and where the ship was moored at the end. And after that, Lycan, I think, wanted to fight one of the hired hands, and after a duel, when she was defeated, she was carried back, and then eventually joined the Baron's employ.
Wasn't there a big stone that got broken or something?
Yes, below decks on the ship, Para found, he climbed below decks to check it out. Just something made him, there was a grate. So he could sense something down there that was drawing him towards it. Climbing below decks, he found a large stone disc standing upright with a base. It was about maybe 4 or 5 feet in diameter, and had a bunch of markings or runes, kind of like spokes going outwards, but more decorative. And Par just felt a strong desire to knock it over, like he just wanted to, something compelled him to do that. And when he pushed it over, he felt a terrible presence in his mind, some hostile entity that he could sense that it was like of the depths, or some otherworldly thing from the sea that was hostile toward him. And he suffered temporary insanity after doing that.
Okay, yeah, let's
And
stay away
also,
from
the
that.
fish creature was let out of the cage and immediately just dived overboard into the water.
Okay. Yeah, let's head to the salt pier, or the salt tower.
Indeed.
Quaithon, have
He's
you...
gonna kind of start walking north.
Although it wouldn't be
We-
bad to check that ship out in case there's someone who needs rescuing. Maybe on the way back.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right, will we be entering the salt tower, or are we still thinking, as the Baron suggested, just, I guess, lurk around for a day while fulfilling the boy's wish, I guess?
Yeah.
Can you all see the map?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
And
Yep.
yes, I agree with the
Yes.
second part of that plan, which is just hang around for a day with the boy and then get out of there.
And by the way, this is kind of what the terrain looks like. There is a hill with some like coastal forest, and then there's a beach and some rocky sections just jutting out into the sea, and some little tide pools and rocks in the sea as well.
Okay. I cast light
Oh.
on Smith.
And can you guys see
thank
the
you.
entire map, although it should be kind
Yes.
of dim? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Smith is a human,
what color
right?
is the light? Yes.
Yes.
Colorless.
Color. So it'll be white then. This colorless light cancels other colored lights. Bright light 20. Alright, Smith, your armor begins to emit some light.
Nice.
My eyes.
Charles goes, aha, let there be light.
Indeed, and it's
bright.
kind of bright.
He flips down the visor of his helmet. Ah, sorry, that's a bit bright.
You're like a walking lighthouse.
Yeah.
You leave the wagon somewhere then?
Oh yeah, I forgot that you guys had the wagon. Yes, the wagon. I think you quickly realize that there's a bit of a problem. The sand does not. The wagon wheels do not work very well on sand, and up on top of the bluffs, it's kind of often dips a bunch, and there's lots of bushes and vines, and it's kind of brambly. Either way, the wagon's gonna struggle.
Maybe
For
we
the
could have just
wagon-
left it at the church.
Yeah, Smith would have elected to leave it at the church, stating that, like, I wouldn't want the fish creatures getting hungry and trying to eat our horse. It's more of just another thing to worry about.
Agreed.
Of course, I've got my horse. I should have brought the camel, though, it sounds like, with all the sand.
In that case, that's totally reasonable, and Thelos would have been happy to, if you told him about it, would you have told him about it, or just left the horse there by itself? Without telling him.
Well, I likely told him, hey, we're going to leave our wagon and horse here. Don't feel responsible
course.
for it should it be attacked or run away, but ideally that's not going to happen.
Of course, Smith. I think watching horses is something I've done for you before. You've left your horse with me before.
As he kind of shrugs and nods slightly. Okay.
And indeed, he's watching over the wagon and says that he will keep it safe. And here's your pony, Nettie.
Okay.
As everyone walks to, Smith kind of looks around and says, you know, I don't actually know that man, but I guess mine is a common name. And he turns to Quaithon. Do you know someone named Smith? Your father seemed to confuse me for someone else.
He shakes his head. No, he is a strange man, and he does not see the world as it is.
Oh. Alaric will light a torch. I'm assuming it's getting pretty dark out.
Yes, it's only afternoon, but the sky is like it's filled with this bluish cloud cover that the light is it's dim light everywhere essentially, which would mean that just gives you disadvantage on perception checks to see things that are outside of the light. And here, let me give you a torch.
How far away is the salt tower? Like a couple miles?
It's several days' journey, at least according to the map.
Oh.
I
It
see.
would be another like 2 or 3 days probably, based on the distances of the map to reach it.
We're only supposed to stay for 1 day.
Yeah.
So
I
with
take
that
it
in
back.
mind-
I think it would only be about 1 more day's travel after you finish this day's travel to reach it.
Can't look around the others. Do we plan to keep this boy with us for the entire time?
I thought we were only supposed to bring him for the day.
Yeah, one day.
Yes, I believe that is the plan.
There might be quite concerned if we don't.
We'll venture back when it starts to get later today.
Yep, agreed.
Now hold on a second. You've already done. I think you have to just if you travel at all up the beach, then you won't be able to make it back in 1 day.
Oh,
The reason
okay.
for that
was
being
here.
that actually here, let me go back to the map. I shouldn't have dragged to the beach yet. You've already traveled for a good like 4 hours at least to get to this position.
Does his dad think? Did Thelos think we were going to take him for more than 1 day? Or
Let me get out the
I
sword.
can't
of
imagine so.
distance. Check out my new tool, the travel ruler. This sword is 1 day's journey,
Nice.
Oh, nice.
as you
Oh.
can see on the part. So you started it there. Oh yes. Unfortunately, just for since we didn't talk about it earlier, I think we'll say you can make it back in 1 night, but you will have to do like 1 hour of travel beyond. So you'll all have to make 1 con save for a level of temporary exhaustion if you try to make it back in 1 night, without going any farther. Just
Hey,
having
Nut,
gone.
let's say, maybe we'll camp out by the beach with the boy, and in the morning we'll head back, and
Yeah.
then we'll go on our own way up north.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Just make sure you keep a
And,
close eye on him.
Quathan nods his head and says, "Yes, I would like to stay here for a while. In fact, I must. I must be by the sea, not in it."
Fair enough. We'll camp out by the sea tonight, and in the morning, after an hour or so, we'll head back to the church.
How close is by the sea anyway?
And we'll say you guys still have a couple hours of travel, although you wouldn't be able to make it back unless you did a force march. So if you wanted to hide at the beach a bit, you could, or you could just camp right here. You guys are welcome to move your token, however, wherever you're what zone you're in, if you're walking or where you're camping.
Okay.
I can't. a second. There we
Assuming
go.
there's still daylight left, then Smith would say, "Well, we're already here. Why don't we go walk up to the sea? Dip our feet in." He's gonna start walking towards the sea itself. That's what we're here for, right?
Yep. Quathon is.
Yeah, I'm riding my pony through the sand because horses like to walk the sand. I think.
Yeah, then Smith is just gonna slowly just start walking, just pretty much directly due east out to the sea.
All right, and I want to just move your tokens and assume that you guys are all going there, or
Unless
somebody
anyone
hanging
else
back.
have any other plans.
Yep, same
I'd
here.
probably
I'm
just
heading-
I'd probably just whisper Nettie as we're traveling to basically like maybe you should be careful with the horse though, considering it's right by the sea where the fish people might be. It might be a bit.
If the horse can
dangerous.
run, I can send him back.
Smith starts talking to Quathon, kind of just telling like a small personal story, like, "Oh, back in my youth, about maybe 12 years ago, I once took a trip out to the sea with my family. It was quite nice, I learned to swim there from an older brother. It was a nice experience. I as well, I think fondly of the sea. I don't particularly like
Please
ships,
tell me
though,
that.
as I am always worried of storms, and I've heard stories."
I'm leaving
Yes.
the pony back here, and I'm gonna just get off him and walk up to the water. I've got my net slung for my shoulder, though.
So yeah, you
Interesting.
approach the sea, and the water is fairly dark, and you feel kind of something unsettling about it, as though eyes are watching you from the sea. You just feel like you're being watched.
Okay,
But you don't. Go ahead.
I need to do guidance. I need to do perception. I'm looking out
We need
for
to-
anything. Kind of. Oh, it's not rolling. I'm doing guidance, but it's not rolling. There should be guidance on with it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
only
you
see
can
the
just
light,
roll
and
it.
then your perception check is the only thing
Yeah,
that's
so-
chat.
Or I'll check out your sheet in a minute.
All right.
Meanwhile,
Okay. 9.
yeah, so you look at the waves, and you don't see any movement other than just the movement of the tide splashing against the rocks at sea. You can see like miles out. It's pretty flat, and there isn't like cloud covers. You can see really far out into the sea as well, even though it's really dark, and you have to kind of squint your eyes to see in the distance. Quathon, in response to what you say, Smith, says, "Yes, I've heard that men like you can become lost at sea." He then
This is
points
great.
to this gray is like a large kind of like rocky section where it's like a big giant like rock shelf jutting up out of the sea. He points to the pinnacle over here where there's like a large like rock sticking up at the end of it. When we walk over there, he says to Para, "I want to stand there and look out onto the sea."
Para dematerializes, does like a dabbing gesture, and then quantum tunnels back to the hamlet.
What?
Yes,
He's joking because he mentioned Para again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just.
Right.
Smith kind of nods and says, yes, certainly we can walk over there, but be careful of the edge. Don't lose your footing. And he starts to walk over in that direction.
I'm gonna lead the pony.
Once again, his shield is strapped to his other arm, and he's kind of just like looking around. He's not like super suspicious of everything, but he's trying to stay on guard.
Yeah,
This
I'm gonna
rocky
whisper
shelf-
to...
Is it a bunch of rocks or is it like a smooth
Yes,
big
so this is
steel,
not
like-
a smooth, like, it's not an unnatural smooth thing. It's just, think of it, you know, kind of like tide pools is kind of a rocky area.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay,
that,
so
but
I
a little more
totally
out of the water.
understand.
There are even little tidal pools on the rock shelf, like little spots and some slippery algae in some spots, but not enough that it's difficult to rain or anything.
Smith walks the long way around the rock. Wouldn't want to slip and fall in.
Right, to save time, nothing happens while you approach, and you find yourself standing beside Quathon on that little pinnacle. He doesn't climb up on it, but he just puts his hand against it, trying to pull his hand out of your grasp if you allow him to.
I do.
He stands
over
there,
here, just-
staring
he's
out
over
at the
here.
sea. You feel like it's about like maybe mid afternoon. And he just continues to stand there looking off into the distance, not saying or doing anything.
Smith kind of stands next to him for a couple minutes if nothing happens, and then kind of mutters, "Yes, it is quite nice, isn't it? Almost a bit creepy, but I guess I'm just not used to it."
He actually doesn't respond this time and continues to just stand there as if he's in a trance.
Is this a good idea?
I think playtime's over. I think it's time to head back.
No, he says. We can't go back. I need to stay. We should spend the night here. It's late anyway. I want to camp on this rock. I must be.
I
Here.
can't leave my pony so far away, so we must camp away from this because my pony can't come here and I don't want to leave him way over there. So sorry.
Smith nods and says, yes, I'm afraid we can't camp here. You know, we have the pony to take care of. So
Why doesn't she camp over with her horse and I'll camp here?
Hey,
No.
we must all be together. Is that not the spirit of things? We must
Yes.
remain amongst each other's companies.
Yes, you
Lest
must.
the
Camaraderie
nights
that
be
way.
too cold or too dark.
It's not cold or dark. It's just right. At least
Well,
right now.
I'm cold and I think it's rather dark, so humor me, won't you?
But why? I should be here. This is where I belong.
This kind of says, maybe so, but you know, the rest of us don't belong here. So for our sake,
Yes.
you must join us when we camp out.
Give me a persuasion check, Para. I mean, not Para, Smith.
He disappeared. And Baron TP's out again.
He turns around, kind of swallowing, and then he nods, and you think he'll come with you.
Alright, then Smith kind of starts to walk back towards the shore, kind of giving a quick nod to Alaric.
All right, let's head back.
And as you walk, he says, "You're right. You aren't supposed to be here."
Okay.
Kind of walking behind him to make sure he's staying ahead.
Alright, then
And, like,
if nothing
dog.
happens, Smith
Nothing
plans to walk over to this large rock here, kind of start making camp around it.
No, my pony can't be on that rock.
Not
And
on the
Nettie,
rock,
I
just
think
near it.
in theory, your pony could like pick its way over the tide pools, even though it might be a little unpleasant on its feet.
Oh no, not that rock, but the inland rock.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
A lot better.
All right.
And it is, even though Quathan said that it's late, it's actually not really late. It's only like mid to late afternoon. So you could travel for hours if you want, or you could camp here like he wants to.
Yeah. Smith kind of starts like he sets down his pack and kind of like sits down against the rock and takes that, like sips on his water and pulls out like a dry and stale biscuit, and his plan is to kind of just chill on the rock. Maybe we'll do some like exercises, push-ups and stretches and stuff.
And he offers a biscuit to Quaithan.
He shakes his head. That is not a thing I enjoy. I like fish.
Ah, it's working.
Well, we don't really have any fish.
I see it.
Well, I have some fish, provided by Thelos, so
Oh.
I share it around with everyone.
Hey, Joe, is the audio track still at inaudible volume?
Mostly.
How about now? Can you hear it now?
Yes.
I like to hear it.
Is it
Yes.
too loud for anybody?
No, it seems fine now.